Facebook, and you can follow me on Instagram, Success Out the Prison. Now, let's get this started. T Grizzly is a rapper out of Detroit, Michigan. He got out of jail, got real popular, and he became a household name, especially in the Midwest. And he's doing pretty good. His auntie had a little pool out there, and she was talking to like people like Whack 100, trying to get into the music business, how to run a music label, how to promote her artist. And T Grizzly happened to be her nephew through marriage. It's his uncle wife. But T Grizzly ended up getting signed. She put in a lot of leg work for her. Now I don't actually know why the hit was put on her, but she ended up being unalive. And by her being unalive, when the police came and started to investigate it, they felt funny and leery about the situation. And the police captain and chief told T Grizzly they feel that he had something to do with it, some involvement. Doing the investigation, they couldn't find out that T Grizzly and Auntie were having sex together. So now, here's the plot, and the tables turn. Now, in these situations, now they thinking that T Grizzly might have had something to do with unaliving her or having it done because she was trying to press him for more money. Now, T Grizzly was ordered to court to testify in the proceedings and on the guy that supposedly unalived her, but he refused to do it. He invoked the Fifth Amendment rights. I never seen anybody did it before. Now, the T really loved his family, and he really loved his auntie. Me personally, he should have went there and testified. You know what I'm saying? But they want to keep everything straight. So if you want to keep everything straight, he should have put some work in on them individuals, but he didn't. And I don't condone any sort of violence. So I think T. Grizzly should have went there and testified on an individual and gave her family closure, but he didn't. Now allegations coming out about him and her having sex, and also now one of the guys that having to be involved with this murder, they are saying that T. Grizzly had set the situation up. T. Grizzly, him and Auntie was together for X amount of period of time that day, and the people was already at the scene for hours, and they found that out that they was there for hours because of the satellite system when it come down pinging on your cell phone. So them guys was already there at the location. She pulls up, she get on the line. They flee the scene. So the police already felt that something was kind of fishy about this. How would them guys even be there for an hour waiting in their cut, knowing that they gonna come to the scene? So they trying to say T Grizzly actually might have put her down because of the situation going on with them having sex, and she about to expose him for the captain, or it could have actually been a hit. Don't nobody know. But now these guys are saying T Grizzly had something to do with it. And the court's gonna always feel that you got some problem with it because why you didn't go in there and testify about her being murdered? If you really love your family and you cared about your auntie, you would have testified that she been murdered instead of trying to keep this shit straight. Now, this been several years, and I was heavily on the streets before. I left the street game alone. Well, I got out of prison after serving almost 20 years in the federal system for 848, being a leader organizer in a drug distribution uh, conspiracy. Once I re-educated myself from prison and came out, I said I was gonna leave all the street shit alone, the street politics. I wasn't getting caught up in that cause. I know the streets gonna always win and be undefeated. Now T Grizzly, by him being in the system, he should have known to stay away from all street shit. Even he should have been smart enough not to pay anyone to do anything for him where they can hold it over his head or come back to hunt him later on. But these guys don't sit there and think about the repercussions behind certain situations. So Mr. T Grizzly put himself in a bad situation. He can lose millions, and there's a possibility that he can be indicted for solicitation for hiring a hitman to take out his auntie. He can be in jail for the rest of his life. He can lose his livelihood. If he had children, he would never have a relationship with his children because he'll never be able to get out. So people got to be mindful, man, what you do and how you want to be caught up with this street shit. Because at a certain age, you should know that the streets are undefeated. At a certain age, you should know that you should stay away from street culture. That you would never gain anything from being in the streets. And me, I tell people at a certain age, when I see you trying to be on Blood, on Hill, on Crip, on Folk, on Vice Lord, BD, GD, when I hear all this shit on Pyro on 60, I'm like, damn, are these really grown men or grown boys? Because why would you sit there and want to be on the street shit when you know what come behind street shit? Moving silent. If you want it was, you can be done right. You got to move in silent. But me personally, I'm moving silent anyway. I'm an entrepreneur now, and I'm a business owner. I stay out the way because I just don't want to put myself in a situation and get somebody a chance to testify on me again and have leverage because they don't want to go to prison. So I feel I don't want to do anything wrong again. I'm not going to have anybody harm anybody. I'm not going to harm anybody. I'm not going to hustle. I'm not going to do scams. I'm not going to do anything that's going to put me back in the federal or state system. Right, don't talk about the business, but most people do now because social media is a very, 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 very powerful tool. And it draws people in because a lot of people are dealing with so much low self-esteem and they don't realize it. And we're not critical thinkers. We're not emotional thinkers. We deal on emotions. So everything with us now, we got to feel that we need a pat on the back to feel like we're somebody. We got to show who we is at all time. We got to show this dog. And it's crazy. And it's crazy that people don't think about what come behind all the shit that they do, even on social media. What come behind when you got everybody in your business. What come behind it when you sitting there putting yourself in a situation where you can be doing a light bit. T Grizzly, you put yourself in a bad situation that these guys are in there flipping on you. Yeah, online mean you broadcasting your live. Yes. I'm broadcasting my life right now, but I'm trying to do it in a positive aspect. I'm trying to do it in a ministry aspect, telling people don't be the same individual I was. Don't be a fool like me. Don't trick yourself off the street. Don't put yourself in a situation where you can be testified on. Don't put yourself in a situation where you can do 20 years in the federal system for hustling. When now you can come out here, you can be an entrepreneur. You can open up a store. You can do a podcast and talk about positivity. You can do a podcast and try to mentor somebody who's going through some trials and tribulations. Or you can get on here and do demonic stuff. Everything I try to do now, I try to do it for positivity of my people. I don't want to talk about the drug culture. I don't want to talk about the gang culture. I don't want to talk about unalive people. If I do, I try to tell them people, do you think this worth it? Do you think it's worth that you trying to protect a neighborhood or a block because you feel it's yours for that moment? Then when the feds or the state come and get you and put you away for 100 years, them same people in that block that you're protecting is not going to be there in your corner. T Grizzly, when you go to jail, ain't nobody going to be there for you. And to me, use the slime ball, T Grizzly. If you out there having sex with your auntie, even if your auntie is not your blood auntie and she was married to your husband, to your uncle, you still a slime ball because you crossed your uncle for some fucking sex. Then if you happen to put her in that situation where you had her on the line, use a slime ball, you deserve to be in prison. I'm not many here in Louisiana doing all the bad shit, not I ain't moving. I'll tell you. That's what you got to do, brother, man, because if you can find just one person in Louisiana that's going to listen to you, that's a plus. Then he might take it to one people. He might take it to one people. It might take you 20, 30 years, 40, 50 years, even when you gone, when you're no longer here. People might still be ringing your name from the positivity you instilled in them. We still talking about the Marcus Garveys. We still talking about the Malcolm X's. We still talking about the Muhammad Ali's. So if you passing positivity, it's going to be passed on for the next 40, 50, 100, 200 generations. So just try to teach one. And that's my goal, to make sure that any black man that's in America that's thinking about waking up doing a crime, don't do it. Don't do it. Because you understand it's a great possibility that you're going to make one mistake one time in the game of life. When you're doing negativity and trying to be a criminal, you're going to get caught. It only take them people one time to get lucky. Real hustle and no prison chances. Fam, you're 100% correct. Like you said, real hustle, no penitentiary chances. I own several businesses, and I'm not bragging or boasting. I own a barbershop and beauty salon, group homes, real estate. I'm in the stock market. I'm in the cryptocurrency. Me and another partner about to open up another business. You know, it haven't started off, so I ain't gonna really talk about and elaborate on. But it's gonna be another business where we're gonna be helping people in our community. And do what you got to do. I don't want to wake up and practice being a drug dealer. When I used to go to bed at night, I used to couldn't sleep because my mind was always constantly on money. My mind was always constantly on that rush of getting back to the street, getting into that lifestyle. I loved it because I was making so much money. I love that lifestyle. And I don't want to put myself in that situation where I fall to the addictions of the street. I had to wean myself off it because I started thinking about it. Why would I put myself in a situation where somebody else can make a mistake and have me caught up in your shit? Now I'm in jail the rest of my life. I said, hell no, because anytime I ever did a crime, I never ever got caught, pulled up, been under my own indictment, under investigation by no agency, the feds or states. Every time something happened to me, it was because somebody else made a mistake and brought my name into it because I've always been a leader, organizer of everything I ever did. So I'm not going to put myself in that. I'm going to lead myself in the right direction when I do shit now. Yes, sir. God first, hard work, and dedication. And I'm glad you said that. Now that I focus more on God and I let God lead my life and I let God be the CEO of my life, everything in my life starting to flourish. I humbly ask God and with a lot of gratitude, and I thank God for putting me in all the situations around all the right people to help change my life. I don't have anything to prove anybody. Like I told a dude one day in the shop, he's talking shit. You know how it get heated in a black barber shop? He said something, dude. I said, look, man, I'm going to tell you, young guy, I'm not a mostly charged person. I'm a thinker. I'm a conscious thinker. I'm a focused thinker. I don't lead on emotion. I'm a critical thinker and I'm an emotional thinker. No matter what you say, what you do, you can't get me on my square because I had so much confidence in me. I said, dude, I box. Dude, I wrestle. Dude, I'm almost a black belt in jiu-jitsu, if anybody know what that is on here. And I do judo. I'm a green belt in judo. I said, dude, and I'm an ex-Marine. It ain't too much you can do to harm me in a physical confrontation. Most likely, I'm going to have the ups because I'm still in shape. I still train boxing 3 to 4 days a week. I work out 4 to 5 days a week. I run 3 to 4 days a week. It ain't too much you can do to harm me in a physical combat situation. Now you might can unalive me, you go get that firearm and you catch me off guard, but in a physical altercation, you ain't gonna most likely win unless you got the same skill set as me or younger with the same skill set. But you my age and talking rough shit, I would destroy you. So a lot of times you just gotta let a fool be a fool because I don't want to go back to the penitentiary because this person is emotionally charged. He's dealing with a lot of femininity. He don't know how to handle his emotions without lashing out and screaming. So I'm gonna have to get out of here because I gotta start packing my lunch. I appreciate everybody coming in, making comments, and rocking with me. Like I said, T Grizzly. I hope this shit is not true about you, but if it is, you need to go to prison for the rest of your life. If you had something to do with that young lady no longer here, y'all dudes got to start waking up, get off this street shit, and grow the fuck up. Peace out. Os.